our first Puma armored cars on the battlefield right now. Little 8-wheel drive going on there. I'm all for that. So the real question here is, what exactly is LoveLeiarde going to be doing here? And he just built a tank depot and canceled it. So he apparently was going to go all the way to tanks and then decided that he really needed an upgrade there. Let's take a look right now at LoveLeiarde. I'm going to swap the mini-map, and you can see he has gone all the way into airborne. Ooh, and here comes our first Puma. Again, this Puma, I believe, is just kind of calling his bluff. He's saying to himself, there's no anti-tank on the field right now. I'm going to come down here and shoot up all of your infantry. A great idea. Infantry, however, kind of simultaneously running from the Puma and heading and putting some pressure on the right-hand side of the battlefield. We should be seeing an anti-tank on right away out of there. So what I was going to say is he does have air reconnaissance, strafing run, and he's got airborne now. So he's going straight into airborne commander abilities. The air reconnaissance in particular does cost 50 munitions. In Company of Heroes Online, airborne commanders could get it for free. But he is likely going to start or has already been scanning the left-hand side of the battlefield, had an idea that Pumas were out there, and realized he wasn't going to be able to make it in time, needed some anti-tank support. However, he hasn't built one yet, so I honestly would have much rather seen him just get a Sherman out there. Sherman is just as good at taking out a Puma. Well, sort of. Ooh, we've got some Nebelwerfers out there. Now, my pronunciation of that word in German was much criticized throughout all of my Company of Heroes Online. So I will try to say it right at least once. Nebelwerfer. 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 You Schweine. But for the rest, I'll probably just call it something abysmal like Nebs or Nebelwerfer, which is my common pronunciation there. Anyhow, you can see this Puma right now is being nice and aggressive, just kind of getting up there, putting some fire on these guys. I don't necessarily think they have sticky bombs yet, but you can see he's playing it safe. He doesn't know exactly what's in his base, but he's being really good about scouting. Another thing I really like about Company of Heroes Online, it directly rewards scouting. You can definitely take a sneak peek at what's coming and then alter your build order accordingly. Again, we've got lots of light skirmishing going on this side. I do like the fact the general strategy going on here for LoveLeiarde I really enjoy, which is that he is keeping the fight happening all around here. Even though he knows there's lots of defenses here, really he's trying to put up a facade. He wants the fighting to happen on this side of the battlefield because of the fact that he'll win. If all the fighting happens here for the rest of the game, he wins because he has control over the right-hand side of the map. Therefore, he's kind of challenging sztefenfu to deal with all of this and push the top at the same time, which is going to prove to be a little bit challenging. You can see these pioneers here making the first real approach at coming out here, and already they're being set upon by these riflemen with Browning automatic upgrades. So these guys are all it takes to really hold off down there. Puma hanging out here. Here's our anti-tank gun on the field right now. That's looking pretty good. And the score right now, 480 points for LoveLeiarde and 355 points for Stefan. Sztefenfu. Sztefenfu. I forget how you pronounce it. It's like S-Z-T-E-F-E-N-F-U. Sztefenfu. There we go. So, anyhow, things are looking pretty good here. The thing I really like about defensive players is that you do often get these kind of chess-like mentalities about how to go about attacking their positions, because they really want to defend. And obviously, it's kind of foolish even, or silly, to criticize them for being campy, because they're defensive commanders. That's how you're supposed to play. Setting up bunkers, fortifying your position, all that kind of stuff, all hallmarks of a good defensive player. And so kind of, there's a lot of analysis in terms of picking apart how exactly an opponent goes about attacking the various defensive positions here. So already we see a bit of an ambitious move coming up here. So half-track coming out. He got an anti-tank gun and now a half-track. And you can see this half-track is loaded up with double flamethrower engineers. And it looks like he's going to be going for some base cheese action here. I usually disapprove of these kind of tactics, but you know, it's all in your kind of play style. I don't think it's going to lose him the game or anything like that. He does have to be very careful, though. If he loses this half-track, and now you can see he's going for the forward bunker here. This is a great move, though. He retreated back a full hit point squad of grenadiers just so they could get here in time to help defend. Oh, and check it out. It looks like he went ahead and set up a little bit of demolitions charges there. Those guys just barely jumped back into the half-track. These poor bastards were left for dead. So he lost that, but he's going to be able to go ahead and boom, there goes the defensive charge right there. Doing some pretty good damage here. The demolition charge, I don't know what I just said right there. We do have Nebelwerfer landing here. Nebelwerfer, of course, suppresses and burns the ground. Really lethal combination, as you can see by Mr. Firecrawling Jim over there, who just immolated himself pretty badly. But luckily, these guys can reinforce here from this half-track, and we'll be back up to full pretty soon here. It's kind of a tough position, though, to be fighting against all grouped up like this. Again, he's putting a lot of pressure on this base, and wonderful use of the anti-tank gun here to pick off buildings. Why not? if you can get it for free here. But he's just got to be careful here. This is an aggressive move. He doesn't necessarily need to be doing this attack, but it will certainly set back his opponent if he can pull it off just quite right. A little just kind of skirmishing going on here, capping this stuff. Again, the theme here is it's really important in general when you're ahead to make your opponent fight on territory that they already control or territory that they should rightfully control, because then they take losses maintaining as opposed to taking losses while gaining stuff. Already I can hear the little light screaming of Nebelwerfers coming in here. Nebelwerfers against defensive positions here, really bad. As you can see, these guys are retreating. Oh no, and they all go down. They have to, like, they're really slow. They have to back away across flaming terrain. That's never good. And now the Puma right in the ball. Way to go there, sztefenfu, just showing up, knowing that there's no anti-tank support there. Going to get a few free kills. Ooh, and check it out. We do see that the half-track has been upgraded to have quad 50 caliber machine guns. I believe that removes its ability to carry troop transports, but it can still reinforce. As you can see by these riflemen who moved right up, grabbed the anti-tank gun, and were blown apart. Oh no, the cursed anti-tank gun. Every now and then this happens, where you have an anti-tank gun that you really cannot afford to lose, but you end up spending like 6 or 9 guys trying to man it here. And the Puma just going to sit right on top of that, making sure that Gentleman cannot man that and turn it against itself. I don't really know about this half-track decision right here with the quad 50s. I know in Company of Heroes Online, the quad 50s, they just weren't quite worth it. They took a ton of munitions, and they never really felt that good. Yeah, once in a while they really shredded infantry, but that was kind of, you know, there were better ways to shred infantry. So I don't know, maybe he seems like he has a lot of munitions here. Maybe he wanted to do that. Anyhow, so it looks like falling just below 300 points right now. LoveLeiarde at 297. And we have what looks like a second a second Puma on the field, and they have requisitioned that anti-tank in here. So here we have the quad 50 half-track. You can see here it's firing away like crazy, but it's just, you know, it's just a really weak unit here. It never gains any sort of hit point buffs or anything like that, and so it really will only take 1 or 2 Panzerschrecks to do a lot of damage to it. Or Panzerfaust, as that probably was. Yes, it was. So taking a look up here towards the center, we can see the riflemen, it looks like they're trying to put some pressure on this Nebelwerfer. That was a little bit of an ill-fated attack right there. Obviously, there were still base defenses up and whatnot, so that's not going to work out too well. They're just going to have to retreat away. But again, the theme here is that he's forcing his opponent to take losses on that side of the map. And now we see his tank depot is on the line. He does have an M10 Wolverine tank destroyer on the field right now. These are light, fast anti-tank tanks. They're not too well, they don't have too much hit points and stuff, but they certainly will just destroy Pumas unless Pumas get the 50mm upgrade here. So now we're going to see a little bit of hunter-killer action going on here. Anti-tank. Come on, man. You got this. Just kind of pounding away. You can see almost no hit points left for this poor Puma. Poor Puma's running away. Will he get one more shot in? Oh, and it gets wrecked. Oh, and a strafing run. A beautiful-looking strafing run just to kind of seal the deal right there. Strafing run getting a nice lucky shot there, killing that whole squad. It looks like this poor half-track is still out here. Maybe trying to inflict some casualties. It looks like he's doing a pretty good job on this heavy machine gun, but of course it's just going to resupply from that bunker for the time being here. It looks like the armored car pushing out right now. Finally getting some rear armor hits there. But, oh, there we have it now. Armored car has been upgraded to have the 50mm gun right now. That thing doing some serious damage here. Ooh, tank destroyer taking some shots from both of those. I believe that was a Panzerfaust combined with a shot from the 50mm. Oh, just a near miss right there with the Panzerschreck. And it looks like our little Wolverine friend is going to have to get on out of here. Oh my god, he is so close to an anti-tank gun. Be careful. He definitely can't wreck that too much. That was a bit of a misfire there, actually. I don't think that actually even hit anything. Second anti-tank now moving out, the M10. And he's just going to be careful. Again, though, M10's great. They're great. This is some fantastically aggressive play we're seeing out of LoveLeiarde here. It's just really keeping the pressure on this side of the battlefield. It's forcing all of sztefenfu's troops to leave their preciously defended left-hand side of the map and come all the way back here. However, it's worth noting that sztefenfu did sneak over here and cap all this stuff while this was going on. So at some point, LoveLeiarde needs to get back there and address that problem. Anyhow, this poor anti-tank in here, again, it's cursed. It doesn't matter which hands it's in. These guys are taking a lot of damage here. Are they going to get out of there, though? Are they going to get out of there? They're so close. They're so close. Panzerschreck's firing away here. You can see just a big old nasty blob. And this is really the strength late game of having these guys. However, the Nebelwerfer, wonderful idea. You can see perfect use. Nebelwerfer just kind of wrecking that place. Big balls of infantry just are absolutely torn apart by that if you're really good at aiming it. So that looks pretty good for the time being. Suckering him into his defensive position once again. We can see, by the way, I'm going to take a look around and just look at all of the upgrades that we have so far. So we've got air reconnaissance. These are for LoveLeiarde. Strafing run. We've got airborne infantry. You haven't seen any of them yet. Airborne anti-tank gun. And he's got the supply drops there. So we've got everything except for bombing run, I think. Yeah. Anyhow, he's going to be constantly dropping supply drops in his base right now. That's going to give him a little bit of stuff as well as some weapons that he can pick up should he so choose. You can see him picking them up right there. Boom! He's got 100 ammunition coming out of that. Anyhow, still looking pretty aggressive here on the right-hand side, though. He does need to recapture all this. You can see his minesweepers. Good unit to have on that duty, just because they can't bump into some traps or anything like that. And the M10s are great because they shut down a lot of vehicle play for the most part. So pretty good. These guys are going to be charging on in here. Looking pretty good. Ooh, we just had a strafing run and I missed it. I didn't quite see where it landed right now. But the M10s also, they seem to have, at least in Company of Heroes Online, they had a kind of a strange predilection for being able to just like, being able to just run over troops a lot. They had really good luck at crushing troops. And you can see right now they're putting a lot of pressure out there. However, it looks like the 50mm gun on this Puma here is going to be doing a little bit of damage to that tank destroyer. Oh no, he's out of control! He is out of control! Boom! Crashing right into that Nebelwerfer. And again, using pretty good use of the upgraded armor cars there, but no, that guy just got a bit of a veterancy boost here. He is now Vet 1. And by the way, I haven't been covering the German veterancy for most of this. Vet 2 on support troops. As you can see, Vet 2 heavy machine gun and pioneers kind of walking around here. And it looks like Vet 2 on regular infantry as well. So the Nebelwerfer should be Vet 2 as well. Yep, there we go. So that's all looking pretty good here. And more towards the north, we can see, again, just a good distribution of troops. That's one common strategy, or not common strategy, but common theme. Oh, I didn't even see that we had a Sherman out on the field right now, too. That's going to up the ante significantly. Sherman, I think, was taking some pot shots at that Nebelwerfer. However, all of the Grenadiers on the field right now and their ability to upgrade Panzerschrecks pretty cheaply, the Grenadiers, of course, being pumped out by this bunker here, are going to make it very difficult for armor to get too much of a foothold, although obviously Sherman is quite good at that kind of stuff. We'll take a look up here in his base right now. You can see, again, just terrific pressure being put on directly on sztefenfu's base right now. Looks like the Sherman taking a little bit of damage here. Panzerschreck, and suddenly he's quite weak. You can see that those shots really pile up, especially when these guys can just constantly reinforce, and they were being buffed here by that for the Fatherland ability. I'm going to go ahead and swap. Oh no, that was a bit of a blunder. He knew that that tank was at low hit points, and he just kind of left it there. There was nothing else going on. These guys were able to creep up, take it out with a Panzerschreck right there, so that's no good. Gonna have to fall back a little bit with the half-track. Half-track exposing its rear armor too. That does not look good. Whoa, close. But no cigar for those gentlemen. And almost getting wiped out. Going to have to retreat away. It looks like they're going to be fine for the time being. What was I saying? I was in the middle of saying I wanted to swap back and take a look at sztefenfu's point of view, a.k.a. Saipaka. So remember, the colors in the minimap have changed. So the score right now, 461 points right now for LoveLeiarde, 233 for sztefenfu. He's got some terrific defensive positions here, but unfortunately, wonderful job by LoveLeiarde just kind of picking them apart very analytically. You can see right now, noticing that he pulled away the troops towards the middle. Oh, was that a strafing run, I believe, going through there? It didn't look like it did too much damage. Yes, there's the plane, a little late on that, but he got in there just in time, did some damage to that Nebelwerfer, and backed on out. Now you can see just constant, the feature here, or the theme here that I really like is that he's pushing with units kind of in waves and waves and waves. He's not just doing them all in one big blob at the same time, but for the most part, he's coming and going and coming and going with a lot of different troops. That really forces your opponent to have to constantly be reinforcing, resupplying, and micromanaging their own troops at the same time, because you don't give them any breathing room in between attacks. Like we just had a wonderful attack with infantry, now backed up by a wonderful attack by armor right now. So armor putting some pressure here on this Puma right now. Puma is not going to have too much luck versus an anti-tank and a tank. We can see just some random shots coming out of these guys. We do have a Panzerschreck wielding Grenadier squad in the middle of that right now, taking some pot shots. Half-track again coming up. Really good use of this half-track, by the way. I definitely questioned him getting it, but you can see he's using it like a champ. It's present at every battle, providing some nice fire. And we have, oh god, is it a bombing run already? Yes, it is. Yes. Oh, and a beautiful shot by the bombing run, totally taking out that Nebelwerfer. You can see it's almost completely annihilated. It has almost no hit points left. Doing